Being a high school student is not easy, especially if you have high aspirations to get into an Ivy League school or Stanford or MIT or UChicago. If you have high aspirations to get into these places, you definitely want to be on top of your game. And what that really means is how to stop procrastinating. We're all guilty of this. We have so many tasks that we need to do. We have to study for exams. We got to juggle with different extracurricular activities. We've got to join school clubs and we have to fit in with our peers. How do we stop procrastinating so that we could get things done, so we could accomplish our goals and we could get into the school of our dreams? That's really what the conversation is about today. And so I would like to give my top tips on how to stop procrastinating so you can get your stuff done. So the first tip I'd love to give is you definitely want to create a to-do list, right? You need a planner or use your laptop, Apple Notes, and create a to-do list of all the action items that you need to do. You've got to study for AP European History. You've got to study for AP Calculus. You've got to participate in the school orchestra or the choir. Create a to-do list of all the action items that you need to do for the week and for the day. The second tip I want to give is you want to eat the frog. What that means is you want to do the most important and the most difficult tasks first. That is definitely one of the biggest tips I could give, because you don't want to put away the most important tasks and procrastinate, right? You want to do the most important and the most difficult tasks first, because everything will become easy after that. So that's what we mean by eating the frog, which is you have to be able to prioritize the action items on your list and doing the most difficult and most important tasks to get it out of the way. Then you could build on that momentum and continue forward. The third tip that I would love to give when it comes to stop procrastinating is you definitely want to start your day early. By starting your day early, by waking up early, you'll get so much more done in the day. Let's assume you wake up at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. You start taking notes, you start reading the chapters in the book. By 8 or 9 a.m., when the rest of the world just woke up, you've already gotten so much done. The flip side to this is, of course, if you're a night owl. But if you're a night owl, you definitely got to use that nighttime to really focus on your schoolwork and focus on your study. I do find that waking up earlier and doing things earlier in the day when you're fresh is easier. And so if you're a night owl, you want to use that time effectively and make sure you're not watching Netflix or whatnot, or just on Facebook talking to friends when you should really be working. And so starting your day early is one of the best tips that I could give you. The fourth tip that I'd like to give you is use a time blocker if you need to. I don't use a physical time blocker, although you could get one on Amazon. I use a mental time blocker. So I take a look at my tasks. Let's say I have to study for AP Calculus. I know that to complete this task will take me about an hour, hour and a half. And so I'll use a mental time blocker. By the time I'm done with that, I'm on to the next task. So I do check the clock just to pace myself, see how quickly or how slowly I'm studying, and to make sure that I have a mental time blocker for each task, because that is a barometer that I use. And you could kind of treat it like a game, like a video game almost, right? You got an hour or an hour and a half to study for AP Calculus. You got an hour and a half to finish your reading for AP US History. So you want to time block your activities to ensure it gets done. The fifth activity that I'd like to give is you want to give yourself a reward. And this doesn't mean a huge reward after you complete the task. It could be a small reward, whether it's eating that chocolate chip cookie that you've been dreaming of to eat, whether it's watching that Netflix episode. You want to give yourself a mini reward for accomplishing the task. So let's say you have to write up this research paper for school. After that research paper is done, you reward yourself by, watching Netflix or eating ice cream, right? Give yourself a mental reward so that you finish a task and then you have a reward to treat yourself to. So I do think giving yourself many rewards throughout the day, obviously you have to watch out for your health and you have to watch your time, but giving yourself a mini reward could encourage you and motivate you to complete the task. And lastly, the last tip that I want to give is that there are really no excuses for getting the job done. At the end of the day, I could give you all the tips and advice in the world to motivate you or incentivize you to complete the task, but ultimately you have to get the job done. And so you want to mentally prepare yourself. The greatest achievers, the overachievers, they definitely at the end of the day get the job done. So whatever is in your to-do list, make a mental note that these are the action items I'm going to finish today today no matter what, even if I have to spend all night studying or getting the job done. And so you want to complete the task, fulfill the task, and tomorrow is a fresh new day. So these are my top tips and advice on how to stop procrastinating, especially if you're a high school student. And hopefully this will help you navigate your college admissions journey so that you could become an academic superstar and get into an Ivy League, Stanford, MIT, Caltech, UChicago, and one of the top schools in the country. If you like our tips and advice that we gave today, give us a thumbs up and a like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel where we'll be sharing more tips, advice, and free resources on the college admissions process.